I need some outside perspective here because everyone in my life is telling me different things and I am starting to question my own judgment. I am Wyatt, 30M, been with my girlfriend Sloane, 30F, for about 8 months. We met through a hiking group in Portland, and things have been really good. She is smart, funny, successful, works as a product manager at a tech startup, making significantly more than me. We have great chemistry, similar values, and I genuinely saw a future here. First, woman I have introduced to my family in years. Here is the situation. Sloane has a male best friend, Jared. They met freshman year of college at Stanford and have been incredibly close for over a decade. I am talking daily phone calls, not quick check-ins, but hour-long conversations. Shared Google Calendar so they can coordinate their schedules. Weekly climbing sessions every Tuesday evening without fail. They have traditions, inside jokes that go back years, shared friend groups from college. It is an entire parallel life that predates me by almost 10 years. When we first started dating, she was very upfront about this friendship being important to her. Jared is family, she said, non-negotiable. I appreciated the honesty. I am not the jealous type. My parents divorced when I was 16 but stayed friends. They taught me that healthy people can maintain close bonds without it being weird. I have close female friends myself from college and work. My mom's a therapist and raised me to believe that secure people don't get possessive about opposite-sex friendships. So I said, cool, no problem. Early on, maybe date 3 or 4, she mentioned that they had had mutual attraction in college but decided to stay friends instead. The way she framed it, they had acknowledged it, talked through it, and consciously chosen friendship because the relationship was too valuable to risk on romance. Ancient history, processed and moved past. She even said, that was a decade ago. We are completely platonic now. I respected that. Thought it was mature, actually. But now there is this trip. Every winter, Sloane, Jared's girlfriend, Paige, and a married couple from their Stanford days do this month-long cabin trip in rural Montana. Really remote place, minimal cell service. Nearest town is 40 minutes away. They go skiing, snowshoeing, hiking, basically unplugging from the world and reconnecting as a friend group. They have done it for the last 6 years. It is their tradition, their sacred time. This year, I was invited, but only for one long weekend. 3, maybe 4 days max. Because I just started a new environmental consulting job 3 months ago and don't have much PO yet. The married couple is leaving after the first week because they have young kids, which means it will be mostly just Sloane, Jared, and Paige for 3+ weeks after I leave. In a cabin, in the middle of nowhere, with minimal outside contact. Here is where I am struggling. A full month in close quarters with a guy she admitted mutual attraction to feels excessive. I don't know how else to put it. Even with Paige there, it is still weeks of intimate daily life with someone she had feelings for. Cooking together, sharing space, late-night conversations, morning coffee, hot tub, under the stars. All the things couples do. When I gently brought up my discomfort, and I tried to be really careful about how I phrased it, Sloane got defensive immediately. You are being insecure, she said. This is disappointing. Mature people can separate past attraction from current friendship. Jared and I dealt with that years ago. This is exactly the kind of toxic masculinity I thought you were above. Wyatt, that hit hard, really hard. I pride myself on not being one of those controlling, jealous guys. My ex before Sloane cheated, and I swore I would never become paranoid and possessive because of it. I don't want to be that guy. I really don't. But something in my gut feels wrong about this whole situation. Not screaming wrong, just off, like a frequency I can hear that nobody else seems to notice. I talk to my friends trying to get a reality check. My buddy Garrett. We have been friends since college. He is a software engineer, married, said flat out. Dude, this is weird. A month. With her ex-almost boyfriend in a cabin? I would be pissed. That is not insecurity. That is having standards. My brother Nash, who is a physical therapist with 2 kids, and generally the practical one in my family, said, if you trust her, you trust her. Don't create problems that don't exist. Jealousy ruins more relationships than actual cheating. Our mutual friend Vanessa from the hiking group said, "They are just friends, Wyatt. It is completely platonic. You need to work on your insecurity if you want this relationship to work. Sloane deserves someone who trusts her. Jared's girlfriend Paige will be there." Jared's girlfriend Paige without incident. I am probably just overthinking because I haven't been in a serious relationship in a while and forgot how to handle these situations. Maybe I am being that toxic jealous boyfriend and just don't realize it. But then, why does it feel like I am swallowing glass every time I think about it? Why do I lie awake at night imagining them in that cabin together? Sharing moments I am not part of. Building memories that exclude me. Sloane's been using a lot of therapy language to shut down the conversation whenever I try to bring it up. Healthy relationships require independence. You are being possessive. I need you to do the work on your jealousy issues. Every single time I try to express discomfort, I somehow end up apologizing for having feelings in the first place. Last night, I tried one more time, said something like, "I just feel like a month is a long time, and I am only there for 3 days. Feels unbalanced." She looked at me with this disappointed expression and said, "If you cannot handle me having close male friends, we are fundamentally incompatible. I will not be with someone who tries to control who I spend time with, but I am not trying to control anything, am I? I just wish I was more than a footnote on this trip. Is that controlling? Am I being the toxic jealous boyfriend everyone says I am? Is this normal and I am just not evolved enough to handle it? Or are my concerns actually valid and everyone's gaslighting me into doubting myself? The trip is in 2 weeks. I need to figure out if I am crazy or if I should be listening to my gut here. Update 1. The trip started 2 weeks ago. First week, I got group text photos every couple days. Normal vacation stuff at first, skiing, hot tub, cooking together. But I started noticing a pattern. Every single photo had Sloane and Jared paired together, sitting next to each other at dinner, standing together on the slopes. One photo had her head on his shoulder with the caption "Best Friend Goals" and multiple heart emojis. When I texted Sloane privately, responses felt distant, delayed, short. Meanwhile, the group chat was active with her posting paragraphs about their adventures. I flew out this past weekend for my 3-day visit. The moment I walked into that cabin, I felt like an outsider. They had all these inside jokes from the week I had missed. Stories I wasn't part of. A rhythm I was interrupting just by being there. First, red flag. Sleeping arrangements. There are 3 bedrooms, 1 with a king bed, 2 with queens. The married couple had already left. I assumed Sloane and I would share a room. She chose to sleep in the loft with Paige instead. Said it was easier this way and less disruptive to the house flow. I slept alone in a bedroom while my girlfriend bunked with another woman to avoid sharing a bed with me. Second, red flag, skiing. Sloane and Jared ditched me on the slopes. I am a decent skier, but they are both expert level. They took off for the Black Diamonds while I did blues with Paige. When we met for lunch, they showed up 20 minutes late, laughing about some run they had conquered together. Didn't apologize or acknowledge they would basically abandoned me and Paige. Third, red flag, the hot tub. Last night, all 4 of us were soaking after skiing. I was next to Sloane, Jared across from her, Paige next to him scrolling her phone. Under the water, I saw Sloane's foot touch Jared's. Not a quick accidental brush, a prolonged contact. Neither of them pulled away immediately. I watched for maybe 5 seconds before she slowly moved her foot back. When we went to bed separately, I tried to talk to her about it. Asked point blank, "Do you have feelings for Jared?" She exploded. "You are being ridiculous. You are ruining this entire trip with your jealousy. I cannot believe I have to deal with this right now. This is exactly why I didn't want you to come for longer. You make everything about you." That last part hit me like a truck. She didn't want me there longer. I left this morning. The drive to the airport, I kept replaying every interaction. The way she lit up when talking to Jared, how she barely touched me all weekend. The sleeping arrangement, the foot thing, her anger when I asked a legitimate question. Here is where it gets worse. She had asked me to bring her iPad back since she wasn't using it, and it was taking up space in her bag. I packed it. On the drive to the airport, a notification popped up on the screen. Jared, he is gone. Finally, want to soak. Sloan, give me 10. I pulled over, hands shaking. I opened their message thread. 3 weeks of messages. Not the group chat, private thread between just them. This feels like college again. Cannot wait to have you to myself these next few weeks. I feel guilty. Faye, what we have is special. Don't overthink it. Not just from this trip, going back to September. Before we even left for Montana, complaining about their respective partners, planning climbing trips without Paige or me, late night calls when I thought she was working. One message from October after Sloan, and I had a minor argument. Wyatt doesn't understand me like you do. I screenshot everything. Didn't confront her. She still has 2 weeks left on this trip and I need time to think. Currently on the plane back to Portland. I don't know what I am walking into, but I know it is not what I thought it was. Update 2. After my last post, I spent 2 days going through those screenshots and monitoring the iPad. Yeah, I know how that sounds. I am not proud of it, but I had to know. Week 3 of their trip, Paige left early. She was supposed to stay the full month, but suddenly had to get back for work stuff, based on the messages. I don't think that is why she actually left. The night Paige left, messages between Sloan and Jared escalated. Jared, Paige left. This is so much easier now. Sloan, I know. I feel terrible but also relieved. That night around 11 p.m., you awake? 11:47 p.m., come to my room? 11:51 p.m. On my way I sat there staring at my phone, called her at 12:30 a.m. She answered out of breath. Hey, what is up? Where are you right now? In bed. Why? Which bed? Silence. Then, what is that supposed to mean? I have your iPad, Sloan. I have been reading your messages with Jared. I know you are in his room right now. She hung up. Called back 2 hours later, crying. The conversation was brutal. She admitted having complicated feelings for Jared that she had been dealing with on and off for years. Said this trip was supposed to help her get clarity about what she wanted. Asked if we could take a break so she could figure things out. I told her no. We are not taking a break. We are done. That is when I did something I probably shouldn't have but don't regret. I reached out to Paige. Turns out, Paige didn't leave for work. She caught Sloan and Jared in the hot tub at 2 a.m., both naked. She didn't make a scene, just packed her stuff and left at dawn. Paige and I compared notes. She had had suspicions for months about emotional affair stuff, but Jared always made her feel crazy for questioning their friendship. She found receipts on their shared credit card. Jared had paid for Sloan's flights to a climbing conference 3 months ago. They had shared a hotel room. Sloan told me she was going solo to that conference for networking. The pieces kept falling into place. Late-night calls Sloan claimed were work emergencies. Weekend climbing trips that were supposedly group outings. But photos only ever showed her and Jared. The way Jared always seemed to know details about our relationship that I had only told Sloan in private. Paige was devastated. We weren't commiserating as much as validating each other's sanity. Both of us had been made to feel jealous and controlling for having legitimate concerns. My friend Garrett came over and helped me box up Sloan's stuff from my apartment. My brother got me a referral for a therapist. Changed all my passwords. Blocked Sloan on everything except email for logistics. The friend group split predictably. Garrett had my back immediately. Nash was supportive in his practical way. Vanessa tried to stay neutral, texting both of us, which honestly just made things more awkward. Sloan's coworker Kira apparently believes Sloan's version of events, that I misunderstood boundaries and overreacted to a platonic friendship. Sloan gets back from Montana in 4 days. She has been emailing asking if we can talk in person. I keep saying no. She showed up at my apartment last night with Jared, the audacity, to pick up her boxes. Garrett was there and answered the door. Neighbors definitely saw. I am tired. That is the main feeling. Final update. It has been about 3 months since my last post. Lot has happened. Some of it satisfying. Most of it just sad. Sloan returned from Montana and immediately started damage control. Emailed me repeatedly wanting to talk things through like adults. I refused. She showed up at my apartment twice more, once alone, once with mutual friends as mediators. I didn't answer the door either time. What I didn't expect was how fast everything would unravel for them. Paige didn't stay quiet. She posted on social media about the betrayal. Didn't name names, but the Portland climbing community is tight-knit. People figured it out fast. Photos of her and Jared disappeared from her Instagram. She told people what she had witnessed that night in the hot tub. Jared works in finance. Portland's a small city for that world. Anonymous email got sent to his company's HR about the affair. Nothing came of it legally, but his reputation took a serious hit. Nobody wants to work with a guy known for that kind of thing. Sloane lost about 60% of her hiking group invites. Posted something on Instagram about being judged by people who don't know the full story, then deleted it within hours after the comments got brutal. But here is the thing nobody talks about in these stories. What happens when affair partners actually end up together? Sloane and Jared started officially dating. Posted couple photos within a week of her getting back. Big finally energy. Lots of when you know captions. Comments were supportive from people who didn't know the backstory, confused or critical from those who did. Phew. They had a massive public fight at a brewery, heard about it from 3 different people. Apparently they were blaming each other for how messy everything got. Jared said, Sloane pushed too hard. Sloane said, Jared wasn't worth losing friendships over. Bartender had to ask them to leave. Week 3, the HR thing happened with Jared's job. He blamed her for being careless with messages. By week 6, they broke up. Turns out 10 years of build-up and 6 weeks of reality don't match. The fantasy didn't survive actually being together. All that special connection fell apart when they had to navigate guilt, social consequences, and the reality that their relationship was built on betraying other people. Sloane's been in therapy. I know this because she emailed me about it. Some long message about working on herself and understanding why she made the choices she made. Said she had made a terrible mistake and asked if we could talk. I replied with one word, number, then blocked her email too. Jared apparently bounced back into dating fast, but women in Portland Google people. His reputation preceded him. Last I heard, he was considering moving back east. Paige and I got coffee once, about a month ago. Not romantic, just 2 people who went through something similar and wanted closure. We talked about how we would both ignored red flags, how we would both been made to feel crazy for trusting our instincts, went to the gym a lot, focused on work, avoided anywhere I might run into Sloane. Month 2, started therapy. Unpacked a lot about how I had weaponized progressive values against my own boundaries. My therapist pointed out that I had been so focused on not being that jealous boyfriend that I ignored legitimate red flags. That being secure doesn't mean accepting disrespect. Month 3, started dating casually. Nothing serious, but testing the waters with clearer standards. If something feels off, I say it now. Don't apologize for having boundaries. I got a dog rescue named Cooper, reconnected with old friends I had lost touch with, bought a new bike. Boring healing stuff that actually works. The climbing community drama has mostly died down. People moved on to new gossip. Vanessa tried to reconnect last week, sent a long text about missing our friendship. I was polite but distant. Some bridges don't need rebuilding. Current status, 3 months out. Jared, lost respect in the climbing community, struggling with dating because reputation follows him. Career stalled from that HR situation. Sloane, moved to a different neighborhood, lost a lot of friendships back on dating apps, but carrying obvious guilt baggage, therapy helping slowly according to mutual acquaintances. Me, living alone with Cooper, boundaries way clearer. Not cynical, but definitely more discerning about red flags. Dating casually, sleeping great, working on a promotion at my job. Some days are hard, most are fine. A few are actually good. I am not triumphant about their relationship failing. That is not what healing looks like, but I would be lying if I said there wasn't some validation in watching the fantasy they destroyed. 2 relationships for completely implode in 6 weeks. The lesson here isn't about revenge or karma, it is about natural consequences. I didn't make their relationship fail. They did that themselves. I just refuse to be collateral damage in their mess. Someone in my first post said, "Trust your gut." Wish I had listened sooner. I spent 8 months rationalizing away discomfort because I wanted to be the evolved boyfriend who didn't get weird about opposite-sex friendships. Turns out there is a difference between secure and doormat. Boundaries aren't toxic masculinity. Standards aren't jealousy. Saying this doesn't work for me isn't controlling. It is self-respect. 3 months ago, I was asking internet strangers if I was crazy for being uncomfortable. Now I know. I wasn't crazy. I was just afraid to trust myself. Not looking back anymore. Forward motion only.